Well, welcome to the days of tween, everyone. Those days between Christmas and New Year's, which, don't really mean anything, and yet somehow they're special days every year. I was listening to a lecture this morning. We had Dr. Jeffrey Long come and give a lecture on Christ and Vedanta, which is, of course, one of my favorite topics always. And he had some wonderful insights. The lecture will be up on the Vedanta channel on YouTube if you're interested in watching it. The piece that caught my attention, I'm a little embarrassed to make it one of my vlogs because it's really a trivial piece and I'm not sure that it's all that important at all. But it wakes up that sleuthing investigator in me, that likes hidden things or likes little piece of iconoclastic information every now and then that sort of turn my assumptions upside down. And with that being said, I'm going to read the story to you and see if you can figure out before I tell you what it is that Dr. Long mentioned about it. As Jesus went along, he saw a blind man from birth. His disciples asked him, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" "Neither this man nor his parents has sinned," said Jesus, "but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. As long as it is day, we must do the works of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I'm in the world, I am the light of the world." Do you see what the weird implication is there in that little verse? Now, I love that story, one, because a guy gets to see after having been born blind, and I know that would be a YouTube video that I'd be weeping over for days. But also just the touching idea of God opening our inner eyes to see light, to see love, to recognize it as our nature and to grow in it. But Dr. Jeffrey Long made a very interesting point this morning. He said, so this guy's been blind since birth. He was born blind. And that fact later on in chapter 9 there in the book of John gets verified a bit more because they actually talk to his parents, because the Sadducees and Pharisees are terribly upset that this man was healed on the Sabbath, which begs another sermon. But the fact is, he was born blind, and the Pharisees are asking, who sinned, him or his parents, that he was born blind? Now, I'm not one to go trying to prove reincarnation from an obscure scripture in the Bible. But I am interested in the fact that he asks a very strange question of a very strange circumstance, and that they must have been looking for something in that question. So why do you think that they would ask if the man himself, who was born blind, somehow had sinned in order to cause that blindness? Does that indicate that there was a possibility that they taught or believed or thought that this man had been alive before he had been born this time around? This question is for fun. It's not to make any big doctrinal points. It's to tease and to feed curiosity and to show that as many times as we read a scripture, and I've read that one for my entire life, that you can see something new, see something puzzling, see something extremely interesting.